What up, everybody? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. It is 10 o'clock at night here in the future in Tokyo. We just did a live stream just a few hours ago, and we discussed all of the reissues and all the madness. Let's take a look at it. The new releases versus the reissues when it comes to Metacom and the MAFEX line. And we did discuss the fact that we are due for reveal of the newest figures. So didn't really anticipate them coming in the middle of the day in Japan. They tend to hold off. They've been holding off until overnight, but we ended up getting them. We ended up getting them a little bit early today. So before I go to bed, before I snuggle with my wife, I figured, hey, let's talk about it, because honestly, tomorrow morning, which is tonight for you guys, most of you guys, I'm too busy. I got too much work. So it has to be done now. So we're going to do it. Now, if you haven't checked out this live stream, please go into the videos and check it out. We get into some of the madness that's going on with the line. And I think, there were some good points made, I think. Maybe a new perspective of looking at things. It's a bit of a long stream. It's about 2.5 hours. Today's stream is not going to be 2 hours. It's not going to even be an hour. I'll try to keep this to 30 minutes, 45 minutes, hopefully. I don't really want to go beyond that. So let's get rid of that. I do want to also acknowledge that once again, I will be doing a giveaway next week for Kaiju Daddy channel members of the Storm Arena Ken. And if you don't have this figure, if you are a Kaiju Daddy channel member, make sure you tune in and check it out. So I'm just kind of doing a couple things here and there. I'm getting messages. It might just be me solo here today, which is okay. That's all right. Everybody's busy. So let's get into it right away. I guess we'll say hi to everybody first. Yeah, let's do that. So Shogun is here. Appreciate you being here, man. You stayed with us during the entire stream this morning for me, I guess last night for you. But yeah, lots of new stuff. We only got 2 solicitations, which is a little bit unusual. We've been getting 3 and 4. So now we're getting 2, and they go together, which is kind of cool. I mean, the interesting thing will be, what are the numbers on it? And what is the turnaround? So that'll be really interesting to see. So are these going to be quick turnarounds? Are these going to be numbers that are sequential? Or are we going to have some gaps? Meaning maybe we'll have some other figures coming, renewals or event figures as we proceed forward. So Ray2D2, what's going on? Greetings. Anthony, top of the morning. Jesus, yeah. It's an early chat for you guys. It's a late chat for me. Black Comic Nerd, what's going on, man? I can't wait to own that clock and Bruce in 2030. Hopefully sooner. Jedi Ben is here. Hey, Ben. Jedi Ben. His name's not Ben, by the way. Got a few minutes before I get ready. All right, cool. Thanks for being here, man. Bones is here. What's going on, Bones? I'm getting both. I think they look cool. I got a little bit of a nitpick with the clock. I'll get into that. Yeah, feels like we were just here. It certainly does. Philippe, what's going on? I know it's Philip, but I call him Philippe. I'm glad they finally showed something new. Thank the Lord. Well, they show new stuff all the time. It's just a matter of they're going to actually release it to us. I skipped the Storm Arena Ken and Ryu because I figured they will eventually get around to making the Street Fighter 2 versions. Eventually. So when is that? When you got grandkids? I don't know. Who knows with these places, right? These companies. What up, Music Jones? Don't know how I feel about the new announcements when the older new releases haven't released yet, but these look nice. Yeah, like I said, we got into it last night, this morning, depending on where you are. and everybody sort of had an opinion. Everybody was kind of, everybody was respectful, which is great. But everybody comes from a different opinion, which is also appreciated. And again, just trying to get a little bit of a grasp of what's going on with them, moving forward. Now, if you don't know, I did go to the Metacom store today and I posted a video. I only posted it on, I think I only posted it. No, maybe I did post it. I posted it on YouTube, but in Instagram, I posted another video. So I got video of the new, I don't know which way you guys are looking, the new 2.0 Gambit, which has made its way into the store, which is great news because that means it is imminent to release, probably within a month. I was told, I asked about it, and they told me that, again, if you watch the stream before, the last stream, they don't really give you an answer. And I was told, maybe February. It's probably going to be February. So I was there to buy some stuff for people. That's really why I went. And there's a person there, and we won't get into it, but there's a person there that is super unfriendly, ridiculously unfriendly, and didn't even listen to the fact that I wanted to buy figures and just started, the person knows why I always go, because I always try to get information. But this particular person, who I've mentioned in the past, is a company. I'm not going to say man, I'm not going to say woman, but a company person, and toes the line. And didn't even listen to what I said, just was like, the blog. And I'm like, I'm here to buy figures. Like, I don't know what you're talking about. So getting any, moral of the story, getting any information from them, especially when that particular person there, is impossible. So, again, getting back to what I was saying, the Gambit is in there. I would have liked to have been able to hold it and mess around with it, but again, that person was there, and that person isn't really cool with that. I was able to look at the box. The box is nice. It's cool. It's very colorful. And they did have the Mean Machine, the Wacky Racer Mean Machine. So again, the Wacky Racer Mean Machine, last I heard, is going to be released not this week, but the following week. And that is going to be released with Megan. Now, this week, tomorrow, in fact, will be the Nightmare Batman. Unless something happens, unless it's a last-minute change, it's still scheduled for Saturday. But in Tokyo, most retailers will put it out on Friday. So I should have it in hand Friday afternoon when I have a little bit of free time, and I will try to get a review up, hopefully by this time tomorrow, so you guys have an opportunity to kind of see it and make an informed decision as to whether or not it's worth buying. But let's get into the figures that were announced, or at least solicited or leaked today. So we'll start off with the Bruce Wayne. He looks pretty good. I think it looks really good. So we're not getting those Figma ball joint on the elbow, which is very nice. We didn't see that in the summer preview, but you never know. Sometimes they mix it up. We do have 3 separate head sculpts, it looks like. I don't think they're going to make those sunglasses separate. And it does look like the mouth curves a little bit more between the one on the right and the one on the left. They do look very similar, but I think it's a separate head sculpt. So I'm going to go with 3 head sculpts on this one right here. So we get 3 looks for Bruce Wayne, which is very good. It's very cool. Love the scarf. Love the way it looks. And then this is the treat. We're getting 1, 2, 3 extra head sculpts. So we're getting 2 Batmans, and we're getting a Catwoman. One of the Batmans has a mouth breather for going underwater, as does the Catwoman. And this is from the comic, the storyline, when they both go underwater to escape Superman. The one with the breather has the green eyes for underwater, and then the other one with the facial hair has the red eyes, which is again cool. So we're getting, it seems like we're getting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 head sculpts, 5 head sculpts minimum. So let's just pretend that those sunglasses are going to be an extra piece, which I can't remember them doing sunglasses like that on a figure. It's, they're bound to get lost or broken. So I'm going to say it's going to be 6 head sculpts, which is cool. So you have them right there. And then we're going to get 2 separate legs. And on the bottom, you can see the boot comes with the little propeller, again, for when Batman and Catwoman try to escape Superman and they go underwater. So this is essentially going back to some of the early days. And we actually talked about this in the live stream earlier, where Medicom used to give you pots for other figures as sort of, incentive for buying other figures. Now I'm going to take a little bit of a break here from looking at these, and I'm going to look at this. So this is what we talked about before. This is the police officer Joker, and you can see, I know a lot of people weren't collecting at the time, but it did come with the Joker in his painted look, and it did come with an extra set of hands that you would pair up with the previous Joker, which is the regular Joker. You just remove his coat, and then you'd have him with his vest, and then you got the extra set of arms to reproduce him in the jail cell where he starts clapping. This was a great add-on to get people to buy this particular figure, which doesn't scream must-have. Like I said, it was very good. It was a good way to justify the pricing, but also to get people to buy it, giving them another look for their Joker. So this is harking back to, I don't know, 2017, 2018, whenever this figure came out. So we have had this in the past. They haven't really done it recently. What they've been doing recently is just giving us separate torsos, which we'll get into. But they have messed around with giving us extra pieces included with figures for previously released figures. So this was cool. I do have this figure. It's very cool. It's very nice. And I have 2 of the Jokers, one with the regular look and one with the jail cell look. They did it again with the Scarecrow. I think these 2 figures came out relatively within a short period of time of each other. I think they might have been successive releases. I can't even remember. I'd have to look it up. But this one comes with the Nightmare Batman. So you get the battered cape, kind of ripped apart cape, and you get that Nightmare Batman look, that kind of demon look, as well as the extra set of hands to put onto. I think this was could have been the Batman 2.0, but it might have been the 3.0. I really can't remember at this point which one this was intended for. But again, this is something that Medicom used to do, but they did it primarily with the Nolan stuff. So this is just an example of them giving you extra pieces for extra already existing figures that they've released as add-ons for different looks. So it's very cool, very nice. So let me get back to what we were talking about here. So you would simply replace the legs on the Hush Batman. This is the gray and blue one, and you could reproduce this look also by putting in the breather, or even having that scruffy look. So it's cool. I think it's nice. Again, what else are you going to include with these particular figures? This is a good move by Medicom. Very smart of them to get this out, and to maybe get a little bit more interest in some of these figures that they've been reissuing, particularly the Hush Batman, the Catwoman, which recently was reissued, and then we'll get into in a minute the Hush Superman. So good move, like I said, good move on their part, at least in my opinion, for them to do that. So you can see, you can also put that head on the Hush Batman. If you want to give it a different look, you'll see that they are different from the one that was included with the Hush Batman, the unmasked Bruce Wayne. They are different looks. So pretty good. Pretty good. And these are the two heads on the left that came with the Hush Batman. And then you have a look at the heads that are going to be available with the new Bruce Wayne that you can swap out as well. Pretty good. I think this was a great decision on their part. Now, getting into the Clark Kent, you get multiple looks, obviously, and now we are getting into the territory where you have the replaceable torso. So you take that torso off, and then you'd replace it with the one where his jacket is open, and he's revealing himself as Superman. You get extra heads with this one as well. Not too keen on that head on the left with the glasses. Looks a little bit off. Looks a little bit funky to me, but yeah, the glasses, they're not really. I mean, I understand it's a small figure. Just looks weird. It looks really weird to me. Not feeling those glasses. But you do get, and this is the thing, you do get not a smiling Superman, but you get a kind of smirking Superman face, which a lot of people have been very upset about with Metacom. They haven't given any of the Supermans a smiling face. Finally, you're getting it as an add-on with this particular figure. So here he is with the torso where he is revealing himself as Superman. My issue would be the neck. You know, in the prototype, the colors were off. I'm sure they'll fix that between the torso and the neck. They did have the colors off in the prototype. Again, I'm sure that'll be fixed. But the gap, I just hope they fix that, make it a little bit more flush. And that's my only gripe. I think this looks cool. Those of us who have the muff, we've been loving this look. Metacom, they know, they keep an eye out. And they obviously realized that this would be a look that they could reproduce. So on the left, you have the existing heads that come with the Hush Superman. And then you have the heads that come with the new Clark Kent. So again, the Clark Kent is going to have 2 upper torsos and will have 3 different heads. So you can swap out any of them with the Hush Superman, but I think most people would use that smirking look to go with it a little bit more. So yeah, looks good. Looks really, really nice. Came out of nowhere. I don't know. I don't remember anybody choosing these as the figures it would release. If you did, alert me to that. I did promise people that if you could successfully choose the figures, and you are a channel member, I would give you a couple more spots for the giveaway on the wheel next week. So if you did successfully do and tell me that, just point it out. I'll look it up and I'll give you, let's say, 5 more spots. All right, guys. So I'm going to go into the chat, see what you guys are talking about, see what's up. What are your thoughts on this? All right. So let me try to figure out where we left off. Let's go here with Music Jones. I don't know how we feel about the new announcements when the older one releases have released, but yeah, these look nice. Yeah. So we already read this one. So will that Clark jacket open or will it be an add-on? It will be an add-on piece. It'll be fully molded. It won't be pliable, at least from all indications. That's not going to move. You're just going to basically pop that torso off and the jacket will come off. The only question is, are we getting an extra set of arms or do you have to take the arms out and use the existing arms? I think that's the only question that really needs to be addressed. Does this mean no doomsday? Yeah, it looks like that. Again, these haven't been officially announced, so it is possible that there will be another figure. You can't say no. Medicom hasn't put them up on its MAFEX page, so until it does, you never know. There have been times recently as well where um, one or two figures they kind of leaked early, and then another figure leaked. So it's possible there's going to be another figure. It is possible, but right now it's just looking like it's these two. Let's keep going. Fine with waiting. I get the FOMO. You get it? You still get it? Or you don't get it? Thanks for the streams. Appreciate it, man. I appreciate people watching. You know, it's good. And, you know, you guys are just waking up, seeing my beautiful face. It's always a treat. I watched a rant about MAFEX last night. Totally agree. Again, I mean, there were different perspectives. Not everybody has to fully agree, you know, but honestly, like, you know, when you're prioritizing reissues over new releases and you're constantly announcing new releases, new figures, like, you know, something's got to give. You can't just have this massive, you know, ever growing backpile of or backlog of figures that you get to release. Okay, you don't get FOMO anymore. Any idea about Tim Drake Robin? No. But again, we're getting the Batman. So we just got Dr. Fate, and they quickly replaced the spot with Dr. Fate with the Gambit. So with the Batman releasing this weekend and the Megan and the Mean Machine potentially releasing next weekend, the following weekend, it is possible that we're going to start getting the new figures in. Rogue and Venom are the existing figures that haven't released that are still there. And then, like I said, you have the Gambit. Maybe the Robin makes an appearance. Maybe the Jubilee. So we'll see. We'll see. But there's no news on it. And as I said at the beginning, asking questions about it doesn't really do anything. It's just, you know, check the blog. It's really about being there at the right time with the right people in the store who are willing to help and communicate. So Philippe, thank you for the Kaiju Daddy channel membership. Let me highlight that. I'm trying to see who got it. Thank you very much. I appreciate that, man. Thank you so much. And let me go in, and I can see that Crackshoot got it. Crackshoot got a channel membership from Philippe or Philip. Again, thank you. And now he is qualified or is able to be in that pool for that Ken. So thank you, man. Appreciate that. Let's keep going through. An email from Ami this morning said Gambit was moved into February 26th. Yep. So it makes sense because now it's in the store, and usually if it's in the store, you should expect it to release generally within 4 weeks, generally speaking. So what up, Bobby? Eric is here. What's going on? Vicious Soldier, thanks for being here. Yeah, it's only Batman heads for the blue version. You know, it is what it is. Maybe we'll get something else. Who knows? But, you know, head sculpts, 6 of them. That's pretty awesome. You know, it's usually the head sculpts that add more value to these figures. They, you know, they're very good. Hopefully that's the hang up with the Rogue, right? Not really the head sculpt, but the hair. So we'll see. We'll see. This is sounding more and more expensive. I would say it's probably going to be in the same range as, you know, 14,000 yen, like $95. The going rate for the figures. They're not really probably going to come with many accessories. I guess that Bruce Wayne will come with the 2 bags right there. And I believe that scarf is removable based on the prototypes that I did see previously. So yeah, I mean, you know, in terms of accessories, it's really just the heads. Let's keep going through. Epic is here. We appreciate him being on last night for you guys and chatting about the figures. It was fun. It was cool. Jonathan, good afternoon. Vera, what's going on? Is this extra heads to go with older figures, just MAFEX copying what SHF have been doing for years with the faceplates? So as I showed, as I pointed out, they've been doing this going back, almost 10 years now. They just kind of stopped, and it's really something that you can only feasibly do when you have figures in a line, in a particular dedicated line. So again, what they did previously was the Nolan Batman films. I mean, they if you weren't into the Batman films, if you weren't getting the Nolan trilogy figures, then these extra pieces didn't really apply to you. But they kept it within that range, that line of figures, and it worked. So now they're doing it with the Hush line. So you have a Catwoman head, extra head. You have the Batman ones for the Hush. And then with the Clark Kent, you're getting for the Superman Hush. So again, when you're kind of looking at a figure and you're trying to justify the pricing, giving existing figures some new looks is kind of, it's pretty good. It's nice. Not that you're going to use them, but at least there's the option. So I think, it was a good move. What else are they going to do? Release it bare bones and 14,000 yen? Nobody's going to buy it. Nobody. At least here doing this, I think there's a higher likelihood that people will actually buy these. Gotta hop in the shower. KJ is here. What's going on, KJ? Man, I want a DLC for the MAFEX Joker's gun since that was the missing accessories before. Yeah. And they showed that too, right? Remember when they announced that they were going to be doing another one and it showed a gun and it never happened? I searched for the reissue with the gun. I searched forever, and it just didn't happen. They never incorporated it, which is crazy. Clark, yeah, those glasses are goofy. Like, I don't know. Like, I think those glasses sort of solidify that I'll have him in the middle look here. Even though I have the Muff Toys Protector of Metropolis, I'll probably just go with that look when it comes to the body with the buck. I'm not feeling those glasses at all. Not at all. The G150 host, good morning. Yeah, it really does. It really does. It looks pretty bad. They missed a golden opportunity for a smile. Yeah, they gave you a smirk. A little bit of a smirk. Clack looks like Kaiju Daddy. He's got too much hair. He's not as pretty. Maybe next time. I'm going to need to track down a blue Hush Batman to go with these extras. When was the last time that was reissued? I can't remember. Was that in the summer or was that in like early autumn? I really can't remember. Again, they come out so often. It's like, when was the last time this was reissued? If you know, chime in and let us know. Those glasses are a no-no, yeah. So of all that I've seen, I would say that head sculpt is probably the worst aspect of everything. I mean, with the Catwoman and stuff, I'm never going to use those breathers. I would never do that. But at least it's an option. You know what I mean? It could kind of work. No, it's never going to work. So, yeah, that's a big no. Both figures look great, but according to the current path Medicom has taken, these are going to be released. Yeah, maybe. We shall see. No. So like I said, we're not sure. We won't know until it actually goes up on their page. So once they put them on the page, that's the official announcement. And let me just refresh it. Yeah, still nothing. So I think these are going to be solicited. I think it's Monday or Tuesday. From one of the things I read. So we'll see. It's nice to see a lot of accessories, although I was hoping to get an option at Bruce without the overcoat. Yeah. I'd have to look at my video from last year, not last year, the previous year, when they showed off the prototypes of Bruce and Clark. I thought Bruce had the option of not having the overcoat. I can't remember. I'd have to look. But yeah, that would have been nice. You know, maybe it's something they'll tackle in the future. I don't know. The color of the skin on Superman's smirk head got a match at least with the reissue Hush Superman. Yeah, it would have to. I'm sure they've got that covered. Hopefully, right? The knees on that Superman will look bad if bent even the slightest. So this one, I don't know. I mean, you know, there's other figures that incorporate that look. Doesn't look that bad. It really doesn't. So that particular look incorporates the Figma ball joint to make it look a little bit more flush. There's a lot of figures that do it. For the most part, they all look good. No issues with me anyway. I haven't really been disappointed. Been waiting for these two since the mold was displayed. Yeah, definitely. What's up, Maurice? Not sure if I really like the Clark Kent head sculpt, but it's okay, I guess. Sales of add-on heads gonna boom. Yeah, definitely. Let's keep going through. Yeah, it definitely makes them more enticing, I think. Again, without it, you're looking at Age of Apocalypse, Cyclops, and Weapon X. You have figures that they don't come with much. There's nothing appealing about them, and now they're being discounted. When figures in Japanese stores, retail stores, never get discounted, especially 2 months, 3 months after they released. It's unheard of. The sales must be abysmal for that to actually happen. So if you're looking for those figures, I would say, you know, Hobby Search and Hobby Link Japan, they tend to have big clearance sales. Those should be big on those clearance sales. Even Big Bad Toy Store will probably discount those by, like, you know, Black Friday. Definitely by Black Friday. So hold off on them. I think the prices will go lower. We have a smiling Bruce Wayne, but not Clark Kent. Well, I mean, I guess it's true, because you can't really, hold on. You can't really use that one because he's got the curl, and that will reveal that he's Superman, right? So, but this is a little bit of a smirk here on the left, right? It's a little bit of a smirk. Keep going through. Any thoughts on the LPCC Batman Who Laughs? Yeah, KJ got that. That dude, man. Living the dream. Looks like the same sculpt as Batman Black Hush Smirk Head. I'd have to take a look at that. Let's quickly take a look. Let me pull that up. Ooh, where is that one? Here it is. No, I don't think so. So they've released these figures before without multiple heads. Is that what I'm understanding? Are we talking about the original figures? The original figures did come with multiple heads. So this is the original Hush Superman on the left. These are the two heads it came with. So these were the two looks that you could have. Now with the Bruce Wayne, you have 3 heads. You can replace, you'll have a head for Superman, that one on the far right, that you can replace one of the 2 existing ones with. Now, if you go back to Batman, Bruce Wayne, you have, I'm going to say 3 heads because I don't think those glasses are removable. You have 3 heads right there, right there. And over here, so you can replace, you know, this is the existing one that came with the blue hush. And then over here, these are the 2 head sculpts that came with the blue hush on the left. And then these are the 3 on the right that are now with the Bruce Wayne that you can replace. Well, not the Catwoman, obviously, but the other 2 that you can replace with the Batman. And, oh, my bad. You also get replaceable, swappable legs if you want to showcase the bottom of his foot, which is kind of silly. But the option is there. The option is there. So, yeah. Let's see. Does Blue Hush have a softer crotch piece? I don't know if it's been updated. I don't think the one I have, which is the original one, I don't think it does. But I would imagine that all the recent updates, the recent reissues have incorporated that. As far as I know, I can't remember a figure that people have gotten that didn't incorporate it for a figure that kind of uses that type of articulation. So if anybody can chime in and let us know, we'd appreciate it. Like I said, I got the original, and the original didn't, at least to my memory. The suit bodies are new. The suit bodies are new. Yeah. Are these not new figures, but with extra heads for older figures? Yeah, that's what they are. They're new figures of Clark Kent and Bruce Wayne. You can't really incorporate too many things with them because they're civilians, right? So they decided to incorporate alternate heads to switch out with their pre-existing already released figures. And these released figures happen to coincide with a few of the figures that have been re-released within the last couple months. So good timing. And I'm sure they planned that. Yeah, maybe. If there's a third one this month, it's got to be Doomsday or Batgirl. I don't think they'll go with 3DC. I don't think they will. I doubt it. I doubt it. But, you know, never say never, right? Did you say in a previous stream that Muff will reissue the Blue Protector of Metropolis? No, not the Protector of Metropolis. That's Superman. So the Chaos Dark Knight Returns, that's the Batman, the Dark Knight Vigilante. They told me that they're going to do a variant of that like they did with the Protector of Metropolis, where it went from the blue suit to the brown suit, and then instead of the blue Superman, it was the black Superman suit underneath. I was told that they were going to do the alternate color, which is blue and gray, for that figure, for that look. So yeah. Burgos is here. MAFEX saw your stream last night. Yeah, maybe. Yeah. Barely a smile, just a smirk. If Clark's open shirt torso is not all one piece, you may be able to pop off the arms and swap the torso. I think it's, I mean, you're gonna have to be able to pop out the arms either way, because that's just how the figures are built and designed. So that's why I'm saying, like, it's most likely that those arms are, you just remove them and then you take off, you know, the torso, you take those out and then you swap it out. So again, you know, swappable arms. They did it with Thor, Infinity War Thor. They gave him shirtless bare arms for a different look. And they did it here with the Joker. So you just pull the arms out and then you plug them back in. Very happy with them. I'm happy with them. I think they're good. Just as long as, you know, they stick to the price point. I'd even be happy at, you know, 12,000 something yen as opposed to 14. We'll see. I'd be tempted for a Bruce Wayne figure to go on my Batman shelf if the price wasn't 14,000 yen. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you know, 12,000. The only issue is all the head sculpts. I mean, that's how they're going to use. That's what they're going to use to justify the 14,000 yen price. In my estimation. Smirking Kent, yeah. What up, Garo? Man, Dorothy Terras, you are awake early, huh? Jonathan too. Good morning. Pixelated posses or poses? My bad, poses. Yeah, smiling Superman. Finally. Maybe February. She's hiding, man. She's hiding. What up, 78? If you guys haven't seen 78's over on Instagram, 78 Points of Articulation, he is doing a Sesame Street Dio, which looks awesome. NECA just announced and put up their new Big Bird on that Sesame Street line. So check it out. If you collect that line, give 78 a follow. And I don't know if he's still taking pre-orders for that. I've got a pre-order in, but it looks awesome. Just check it out and, you know, support him. Good stuff. Is Ami backed up? They have Psylocke up, but I haven't received any notification. I don't know. I had someone reach out to me. So I have an Ami account, but it's the Japanese site. And I couldn't log in. It wasn't allowing me to change my password. It wasn't accepting my password. So I made a new account, but I made a new account on the American or the non-Japanese Ami page. And they ended up deleting that around December. They said, I can't have two accounts. So I messaged them and I'm like, you know, why not? You know, it's not taking my password. It's not letting me reset it either, blah, 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 blah. And they were like, well, the different pages are run by different teams. So there's one team that runs the Japanese website, and then there's another team that runs the non-Japanese website. So anybody outside Japan ordering, or at least maybe in English, the English website. So if they're backed up, it could just be one team is backed up as opposed to Ami. I haven't seen anything in the stores to make me think that anything is amiss. So I really don't know. I don't. But it could be an issue where one of the teams that's kind of running and kind of operating the website and the orders might have an issue. Let's see. Where did I leave off? Here we go. Find any more Storm Arenas? Yeah, man. I picked up 2 the other day. 2 more. Yeah. So they still have everything. You know, they still have Ryu. They still have Ken. You know, everything. Sometimes it's good to be here, honestly. They may be. I got the email notification. Okay. Yeah. Hopefully that's all it is. 542. Man. Why are they doing so many DC stuff, but none of them is Wonder Woman? Yeah, well, the Wonder Woman was an unpainted prototype at the last event. Not that that's saying anything because we got a brown Wolverine, right? And, you know, there was no brown Wolverine prototype at all shown at the event. But usually the unpainted prototypes take a while to get solicited. So that comic one, I'm sure it's coming. Ami has been so slow with shipping lately. Yeah, I don't know. Wish they did a Lois Lane. That would be interesting. She'd probably have to be a 2-pack, like the Robin with the Batman with the Dark Knight Returns. That would probably be the only way that they could justify releasing a Lois Lane. Like, who's going to buy that? It's probably not a lot of people, especially in Japan. So, Ami messed up the shipping info on my, what is that? Ryobot? What's Ryobot? The Mazinger Zero. So customs couldn't process it. Wow. And it got sent back to them. Man, that's messed up. I'd love to see people that made Chaos Batman make a Lois Lane. Why? Why? You want her bulky? I want them to make Captain America. That's what I want. I would love to see them do that. They knew what they were doing by including the smiling head sculpt with the figure. They did. You know, everybody who's wanted a smiling Superman, granted, it's not a big smile, it's a smirk, but, you know, here's your opportunity to incorporate it with the look of the comic. You know, so I'm sure people will buy it. I'm sure people who would normally not be interested in the Clark Kent would get it to get that look. So again, I mean, you know, sometimes they know what they're doing. Give credit where credit is due. Sometimes they know what they're doing. Still want to try to come in spring. Spring is the best time. It's the best time. Genki are saying on Twitter that these should go up for pre-order tomorrow. Tomorrow. Okay. Okay. So once they do go up again, you know, if you have access to the product page of Metacom for the MAFEX line, if they're listed there, and it's just the two of them, then it's obviously just going to be 2 solicitations for this month. But also check the numbers. What are the numbers going to be? So the last time we left off, let's see, Wonder Woman is 296, Brown Wolverine is 297, and the Venom was 298. So 299 and 300. If they're not, then, you know, expect something to have a very quick turnaround once it's announced. The MAFEX one is awesome. It was my figure of the year, and that came out the same time as Daredevil. Love it. The announcement came just in time. I was about to buy the Gong Hush Superman. Good timing, right? I don't know if anybody saw, Blitzway is re-releasing their 1/12 scale Where's Waldo. I was about to buy that last week because I really wanted to put it into my collection. Like, you know, Where's Waldo, right? Where's Wally if you're not in America? They call him Wally. Because I have the 1/6 one. I was more in a 1/6 at the time. You know, you go through phases, right? Like you're more in a 1/12, you're more in a 1/6. It goes back and forth. But at the time, I was more in a 1/6. And so I passed on the 1/12. So I got the 1/6, but I'm more heavily involved in 1/12 these days, and I wanted it. And like I said, I was looking at it. It's a bit pricey. And I was like, I'll just hold off. And, you know, you wait, and it gets announced as a reissue, you know, very quickly. And that's the thing. Blitzway often does not do any sort of reissues at all. It's very rare for them to do it. So, you know, happy. At least I'm happy, right? Thanks for the info. Got to run. All right, man. Take care. Take care. 3 heads are better than 1. Definitely, definitely. All right. So another thing, like I said, before we end this, the Gambit 2.0 is scheduled for next month. It was in store. So when it makes an appearance in store, the turnaround, again, is normally quick, at least going by how it used to be before they stopped putting figures in the store. So I would expect this figure to release in February, barring any sort of catastrophic delay. He's looking good. He's looking good. Again, if the person who was there was not there, I would have been able to handle it, play with it, mess around with it. I'll be going back hopefully this weekend, and I'll try to get some information, and I'll try to play around with it if they'll let me get a little bit of a feel, check out the coat, that sort of thing. But that wacky racer, the Mean Machine looks really good. I mean, in person it looks really good. I was gonna hold off on it. I'm not so sure anymore. I really like it. So I don't know. I don't know if I'm gonna get it. I probably have to watch Megan before the figure releases to figure out whether or not I'm gonna buy it. It looks great, but I don't know the IP. I don't know the character. But I mean, just looking at it, it looks great. So yeah. So we'll end it. Unless anybody has any questions, I'll give people a minute if you want to throw a question my way. Let's go back, take a look at the figures. Oh, those glasses are awful. Yeah, I'm convinced it's going to be 3 head sculpts there, but we'll see. Two legs just to reproduce the foot. That's kind of wild. That's the thing, right? If they release them at the same time, that would be great. That would be great. I don't know if they're that tuned in. I don't think so, but you never know. You never know. But that would be pretty good. Yeah. We'll see. All right. So we'll call it. Again, thank you everybody for watching. I appreciate it. If you have any questions and you didn't watch it live, just shoot a message down below in the comments. I'll try to, I'll try to answer it the best I can. And hopefully you like my answer. So take care, everybody. Have a good day. Have a good night, and see everybody next time.